So here we are. This is the 5,000 watt e-bike. This originally started off as a 500 watt Amazon bike that I got about probably almost 2 years ago. And then I've just kind of perpetually upgraded it. I went to I have like a 1,500 watt hub over there, which is fine. That's about 30 miles an hour. I got used to that. And then I have this bike over here that's kind of was a donor bike. This is the same manufacturer, 3,000 watt kit, a little bit different. It handles a lot different characteristics and everything. This bike has a monstrous amount of low end power. So this bike is more of a wheelie machine. So these bikes are actually kind of direct cousins. I don't work for MB Power, don't endorse them. I've used different e-bike hubs, e-bike lane, a couple different ones, but MB's probably been the best and the easiest. It really fits into kind of the rear forks here, and I know everybody's really curious about it and stuff like that. So here's the hub itself, right, and there's the serial number. But this is really kind of easy to build, right? This 5,000 watt hub kind of fits right into the slot, relatively easy. Now, the difference between the 3,000 and the 5,000, that is more for, that's spec'd at 135 millimeters. This is for 155 millimeters. But with just your regular 26-inch mountain bike, you just have to kind of stretch it a little bit, and it wasn't that bad to do. And it actually fit really easy on here. The kind of the grooves on the hub really fit nicely on here, and it's really snug. And it did come with the torque arm, and the way that this bike is, it has a really nice low end torque curve, so it's not going to buck you off the bike like that one will try to. That's more like if you like doing wheelies, that's your jam right there. That 3,000 watt gets you up. This is because I think it doesn't want to, it has so much power, they designed it with a little more smoother torque curve, which is really nice. So just kind of starting all the way around, right? The kit did come with this controller, your speed indicator, power, everything else. It comes with this pretty decent display, right? And you can change from voltage and whatnot, the miles per hour. The only thing I don't like about it, obviously, is it only goes up to 50 miles an hour on an analog dial, but whatever, right? Who cares? So the additional things that I've done, right, I've obviously added some mirrors. And look, everything is on here is Amazon, right? So you gotta have some safety features, you gotta have some mirrors to see what you're doing, just some generic headlights. But I did add, right, 203 millimeter disc brakes with 4-piston. I went with Miraco. They seem to be the best, right? Best stopping power. And on the back, I do have Kevlar pads. This is just standard forks. One thing I did add since I did the 5,000 watt kit is at high speeds, right, at 55, 60 miles an hour, you do get a little bit of the steering shakes. And so I've seen other riders put this, stabilizer or dampener on here, and I kind of had to just use some garage parts that were laying around and just drill holes, fabricate it, mount it, right? And it does really kind of add some higher speed stabilization. So again, on the back it's 203 rotors with the M4s, and this is the blues or the Kevlar, and it's just kind of mates, right? I did get some adapters. All this you can get on Amazon, so you can upgrade this. The brakes are really not that expensive, maybe 200 bucks for the full set, depending on what you like and the design. And again, this kit came with dual torque arms, and it did come with this additional torque arm, but I use it more of a spacer to make sure it kind of sits flat on the frame when you're tightening this nut, so it all sits flush and tight. So far I've got about 250 miles, and I've had essentially zero issues. The only issue I had is I had a rear flat tire, but that's not any design fault or anything like that. I do have 2.25 inch tires on the back, and they do come with Kevlar inserts, and I did add additional Mr. Tuffy additional Kevlar liner because this bike weighs 105 pounds and it's a little bit heavy, so you're putting more stress on the tire, and you're more prone to flats. So the first part of this is the kit comes with this controller and the hub. That part was about 800 bucks on Amazon, so you could look up MB Power and see what they have, or use whatever you like. I'm just doing a walk around on this bike, right? So this is a Sabaton controller, or it is customizable, and it does come with the Bluetooth adapter. I do have it on, and when you do wire it up, you do have to leave this out, because you do have to unplug it and then power cycle it, and then all of a sudden you can get into the Sabaton control configuration. And that's a whole nother video. You can get in there, but I do have it turned most of the way up. You know, it does have flux control. It does, the thing I do like about it is it does have regenerative braking, so you're not putting a lot of stress on your brakes. You can set it for, you know, essentially 10 amps all the way to 100 amps, but 100 amps and 50 amps, right? It's going to be a lot of regen braking, and it's kind of annoying. I have it set about 35, which is a nice mix, so you can play around with that. You know, so this is 100 amps, and this is a 100 amp BMS battery. This is 72 volts, 32 amp hours, right? This is about 1,400 bucks just by itself. So just the 5,000 watt kit with the battery and everything was $2,400, right? So you start adding the brakes, the little trinkets on here. It's about 3,000 bucks. The bike originally was 500 bucks as a 500 watt motor bike. But look, it's handling this 5,000 watts pretty decently. Actually, surprisingly well. If you look at my other videos, right, you'll see, you know, different speeds and aspects of how it's cornering, handling. It pulls uphill. I can keep up with motorcycles, you know, generally cars easily. The only thing I can't do, obviously, is get on the interstate. And you know, right now I'm not running a chain because I'm gonna put a different tensioner. I didn't like the original mountain bike chain, so right now it's kind of nothing. I did strip out, you know, a lot of the derailleurs and stuff like that, kind of lighten it up. But overall, you know, just I'm running with a 2.1 on the front, 225 on the back. Now, some of the cool things about this is this, if you're curious, this is 8 gauge. This is XT90, and if you see the green, that's indicating an anti-spark, right? Because my other bike over there, when you plug it in, it sparks and it kind of offers corrosion and stuff. This is the charging port right here, and this whole kit comes with a 5 amp charger. That's pretty decent. It charges it up to about 84.2 volts, and it probably takes about 6 hours to charge it. So, you know, I also added kind of a handlebar extender on here for the stem, so I have more of an upright position. Some little things I added too, you know, Amazon's got these little rear brake lights. It's got different settings. So this, when I brake, it will auto turn on the brake light, and it does have turn signals, right? So, you know, you got to have some safety in mind when you're doing this. Just some additional headlights and stuff like that. So again, you know, this is just a stock bike that has a ton of power, right? But a lot of you wanted to know kind of what I'm done to it, how it's built. You know, it really, if you were just to buy this kit and do it on this type of bike, it'd probably take you about 5 or 6 hours to kind of do it, you know. But I highly recommend going with 203s and 4-piston brakes, because it will eat up the brakes, and plus it's a good safety feature. So, you know, it does come with this little, if you see here, it does come with this little spacer. It keeps the wiring harness away from the braking mechanism. You do want to have this service loop on here, because if you do have a flat tire, you want to have enough room so you can pull the tire out and lay it down and change the tire. Because if you don't, then you're going to hate your life. And then you want to make sure you have enough clearance here. Make sure you're not running, you know, into the pedal or to the tire. Zip tie it nice. Some more service loops here. The green light indicating everything's normal. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, this has some menus you can go into, and you can change it from miles an hour to kilometers an hour, stuff like that. Everything here is pretty standard. The controller configuration is pretty cool. So that's pretty much that. I mean, that's how you take a 500 watt bike and you make it a 5,000 watt e-bike. That's a 60, 65. If you probably push it on a full battery, maybe if you're crazy enough to do 70, but after 60, I mean, you don't want to do it. But this thing from like 20 to 45 is just saucy. It just rips and it pulls. And like I said, it's a little bit more gentler than the 3000. This thing's more of like a wheelie machine. This is more like, it feels more like a turbocharged car. Once it kicks in, this starts ripping and pulling. So thanks everybody for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm doing this for fun, and I really get a kick out of riding these e-bikes. I mean, this thing will do 50 miles, 60 miles if you take it easy. Full rip, you can probably do about 2 hours of solid 45-mile-an-hour riding. So anyways, thanks everybody. Have a good night. I appreciate it, and thanks for watching.